Hello and welcome to Perseverance. I'm just adding tier 1 upgrades now, but let's get onto those total costs. Okay, so the upgrades I needed to finish were 1131333, just shy of 1.4 million R dollars and 130 gold. You get back 150,000 R and 30 gold, so just shy of 1.2 million R dollars and 100 gold. So we skipped ahead here a bit. This is the first race that I would say is challenging with these upgrades. I was surprised. I've been running careful, but I was having trouble. So without cutting that first corner, I wasn't catching up to these dudes that easily. So here, now this isn't bad, but it's funny. If I didn't cut that first corner, it was actually pretty difficult. And then these Porsches are all over me. So I was surprised. Now, like I said, I ended up needing more upgrades. I wasn't quite sure what I would need. I did do some testing in advance to try out some of the later stages. Woo, boy! So I know I need more, but I'm just not sure which. My default setting is to add speed-related upgrades. However, I ended up not doing just that this time, and I think it worked out to be the cheapest option. You see, there's a lot more to these events than just speed. There's other things that happen, and we're going to explore that a little bit in this video. You might find it very interesting. When you buy upgrades, two things happen. It's not just that your car gets better, the competition gets slower. Okay, that's the way the game's designed, and it's throughout the entire game. That's why we talk about bot slowing, bot management, and those types of things. So I'm definitely doing a lot of bot management. I've been dragging out all the early races, all the races before this. I was really dragging them out, making them take a long time. Always pass with the minimum amount. I let those guys catch up a bit. Stage 4, race 2 is what we're at right now. Still at Hockenheimring. Obviously, I had some trouble with this one. Probably not as hard as I made it out to be, but I wanted to get around these guys fast. Now remember, this is an old school event. So off track literally means no off track. There is no grace period. Like, man, in these modern events, they often give us a whole second or so of off track, even when they say no off track. Not in old school events. I mean, it's like not even a microsecond off track. Like a thousandth of a second. No. You're done. So now, of course, you can get 2 tires off track, 3 tires off track, just like in any other type of racing where the rules are actually you just have to have 1 tire on track. Believe it or not, that's the rules for Formula 1, guys. A lot of people don't know that. I laugh my head off when people say you have to have all 4 tires within the white lines all the time. I'm thinking, have you guys even watched racing? Like, you just have to watch some pole position laps to see guys taking tires. Like, sometimes all 4 tires over the, just almost over the white line in corners. The thing is, in real life, you can't drive on the grass very easily. It's very dangerous. It has been done. People have had epic overtakes with 2 tires totally in the grass. Incredibly risky. So, anyhow, we're watching this whole thing because do I catch up to lapped traffic, right? So that's the whole question here. And then the other question is, oh boy, I'm all over the place. Obviously, this race is not as hard as I thought it was. I'm very sloppy. You can see by the dots on the map that I am catching up and I should be okay. The thing I was curious is if the race would end the second I passed a lap car or what. And remember, look at my lead. I don't want to win like this. This is horrible. So first thing I need to find out, does the race end when I pass this guy? And I thought, well, I better find that out now. I better not wait, because if it does, okay, it doesn't. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go 16 times normal speed right now. I'm letting this guy catch up. I don't want to win with a huge lead. That's going to undo my bot management, and there's nothing I can do to get it back because I am now below recommended PR. Remember, you can only do bot slowing when you are at or above recommended PR. Definitely not below it. Sometimes quit retry works, not working really in this event. Okay, so stage 4, race 3. Again, I thought this one was going to be a lot harder. Huge field of cars and only 10 seconds per car. I actually love races like this, but I started looking at these cars and I'm like, okay, whoa, Santos is way back there? He's supposed to be a hard bot. So now I'm flying by these guys, but I thought, you know what? I don't want to take any chances. I don't want to do this race 48 times only to find out I should have done this. So I'm doing this now. Major off-track cut. And the bots are getting pretty spread out, which has me very worried. So I decided, okay, I better just go for it. By the way, this is not an easy car to drive. It's pretty loose. This is more what racing cars are in real life. Like, don't get me wrong, some of them are really grippy, but it's a challenge. And so this game has become a lot easier. I'm doing wall rides, I'm doing all sorts of stuff. In a lot of ways, they've made the game quite a lot easier, even since 2019. A lot of the cars we've had have been a lot easier. Like the Formula One cars, 2019 and beyond, are so easy to drive. They were pre-2019, oh boy, not so easy. So they're still pretty spread out, and I'm not so sure. Like, yeah, there's only 19 cars, but I've still got 5 more to pass. So I'm not sure how easy this would have been if I didn't take those cuts I was taking. This is a little bit off track right there and here. There is an area you can drive over there where it's not off track, but you got to be very careful getting over there. I'm still kind of slicing and dicing this because I just thought, I just don't know. Don't know how hard they're going to be to catch. So I might as well just get up there as far as I can get, as quick as I can get. Man, I drove that in way too deep. That was a complete waste. But obviously this should be okay, I think. I might end up doing some bump passing because I feel like I'm really slow. Or wall riding, oh, or wall smashing, that was brutal. And once I get in the lead, we'll just wind this down really fast. You're not gonna watch the whole race because you're getting the point. But it's not necessarily easy. You gotta be able to drive this car pretty good. So you gotta figure it out. Pit maneuver, that's nasty. One nice thing about adding those upgrades early is that you get a feel for what the car is like. And with upgrades, you don't necessarily unless you know an event can be done without upgrades or you're not sure, there's no use driving it that way. I knew from my old video from many years ago before I was doing commentary, I knew this was impossible without more than stage 1 upgrades. Okay, let's just warp ahead and finish this off. Okay, there you go. It's ending right now. Big slide, he hits me, but it's okay because it's over. And there you go. Not very difficult. Let's get on to that stage 5. Sorry, stage 4 still. Stage 4, race 4. Speed snap. This one's tricky, so I want to show you something here. This was easier when I was doing tests, meaning I bought a bunch of skips to try out certain levels and then did a cloud restore. That's risky, so be careful if you're doing things like that. That can get you in trouble, but I do that for videos. I did this with these upgrades and I couldn't do it this time. So I had to buy some more upgrades. As you can see, bought body and exhaust. So it just goes to show you that even with really good bot management, it might not be good enough. And I thought I was being careful, but maybe I should have been more careful. Anyhow, makes me wonder if I could have done the very last race with even less upgrades, but I still think that's pretty good. So here I've picked kind of a spot on the track I want to try this from based on my other tests. This is actually my first run after upgrades, so I wasn't quite sure what this was going to be like. Hockenheimring, that's so difficult. That corner right there, that hairpin, that's so difficult. And 257, sorry, is my target, and I think, anyways, I go 259, yes. Now here is something really important. We're going to spend a little bit of time here. I want to show you the difference between what upgrades do to you and what they do to the competition. Okay, so I bought enough upgrades to pass this. So first, here's me trying this with those 13 upgrades. And you're just going to see I'm driving crazy aggressive, really getting really close to the leader right off the start. This is very difficult. Little mistake there, but that's one of my best runs with these upgrades. Okay, so getting into second place pretty quick. I've already used pretty well all my off-track, and this car is so difficult at Suzuka. Here we are at the end of lap 3. I had no trouble reaching average speed, but I can't get this guy. And there's a lapped car there, but he just doesn't hold up traffic enough, and just, well, forget that. So then I decided I better buy some more upgrades. So you can see I've already got drivetrain and exhaust, and I was trying to figure out what's the best one to buy. Ended up buying some brakes as well and body. So this is quite a lot of upgrades. Okay, so that's taking 4 categories up to level 3 and maybe spending more than I need to spend. So I tried this out a few more times, tried to work out some strategy, and I realized this is actually now ridiculously easy. Like, I'm not that much faster. The leader is a lot slower. Look how much slower he is. I'm not that much faster. I'm still squirrely. So two things happen when you buy upgrades, all right? One, your car gets better. Two, the competition and targets get easier. So then the question is, what do you need to do? Is it always about buying upgrades that make you faster, or is it about hitting a certain PR to make things easier? And that's what I started to realize as I was watching this. I started to wonder, well, I got by him pretty easy, and this car is pretty hard to handle, so grip upgrades and brake upgrades would be handy. Also, some of them were cheaper. So, after a little bit here, you can see, I'm just letting you see that with these upgrades, I was definitely able to beat him. So I decided, nuts to that. Like, I did blow that corner, but I did a restore so I could do this over again. Again, buyer beware when you're doing restores, okay? It'll reset your online multiplayer score, so you lose all that. You gotta be careful. There's a chance you could get stuck with those upgrades. You've got to be prepared for that chance. So here we are with a different upgrade strategy. Not even the final upgrades that I needed. And watch what happens here. This is very interesting. Remember what it was like before. With 11 upgrades, it was incredibly difficult for me to get anywhere near the leader. And here I've just got 13 upgrades. He's not driving us way as much. I'm still a little bit squirrely. I'm not quite used to these upgrades yet. Some of the upgrades give you, like tires and wheels, gives you acceleration and a bit of grip. Now, I definitely was cutting the last chicane a bit there, and man, am I taking that wide. But you're going to see here, I'm able to hang with him, and the difference is actually corner one is what I was noticing. This is where the bots are not very good, so if you can drive it in a little bit deeper and do a good job at corner one, you can get nice gains. So part of it is also, like in real life racing, you've got to be good, but you also have to figure out where your competition is bad. So if you can be good where your competition is bad, that's where you get them. So when you watch actual racing, you'll see that. You'll see guys that they're waiting for a certain corner to overtake someone at, because maybe they're really good at that corner, or maybe the competition is really bad. So then they can capitalize on that. Okay, so it looks like it's about the same distance. So I'm just going to see if I can do a little bit better at corner one here. And then remember, there's also a situation with a lapped car. So if I can be within striking distance when he encounters that lapped car, that should be all I need to get around him. Now, why am I fighting so much? Well, because I'm not quite sure what that last race is going to be like. Oh man, did I ever lose it? So that was, without losing it there, like, you know, I was losing it quite a few times. You can see this was very manageable. Even though I didn't make my car that much faster, that much more grippy, or with that many better brakes. So that didn't come out very good. I was just checking my average speed to see how much I can give back, because I'm still trying to do bot management, right? So there we go. Lots to go yet, though. I mean, we're still in stage 5. So lots to go. That was a very difficult race very early on. You can see here a lot of these races took me multiple attempts. You can tell by the loading screen. It didn't load with all those different views, or the view from the track up and all that stuff. Sometimes people see my videos and they think, oh, you got it your first try. No. Sometimes it took me 30 or 40 minutes, and I'm just not going to show you all of those errors, because that wouldn't be very enjoyable. Why you wouldn't want to watch my channel anymore if it took that long. This has a time component and a speed component, so I'm showing you this one. I'm skipping races that are super easy, but this one you've got 2 components, and so you've got to be very clean and fast. Definitely heavy braking here. This car, it's an interesting car. It's a little bit hard to rotate this car without losing it. It's definitely a little bit squirrely. It handles better at speed. Oh, that was not good there. All right. Well, I've got under a minute to go. And you really need to set yourself up for Spoon Corner. All right, so here we are at Spoon Corner, a parabolic shape, not parabolica, but of course a parabolic shape, which are challenging corners. That is not the greatest setup, but it's not horrible. And then you want to keep it to the outside. Keep it wide. Run the long way around the track. Get ready on your brakes. Drive it in a little bit deep here. I'm not sure how much I have to brake for this. I'm being careful, but also realizing I have 20 seconds left. And I've got a tough chicane to go through and a kind of a loose car. I don't want to lose it here. You can see I'm being careful. I'm a little nervous on that clock. I definitely went over speed, but that's okay. I wasn't sure how tight I'd be on time. Yeah, I could have not hit as high of a speed. Oh, I thought my target speed was a lot lower than that. Oh, no, that was good then. I don't mind that at all. This is not, well, it's not that difficult, but it is. So, that's kind of funny. You can't get damaged. It's because of races like this, I used to know every single track, forwards and backwards. I used to be very good at driving tracks in the wrong direction. I'm not as good because I stopped practicing this years ago because they don't make us do this anymore. Like this corner should be possible full throttle. You can see by my trajectory I could have easily taken that full throttle. I just couldn't remember. I wasn't sure. And you got to guess at your braking points because you're going a total wrong way. So I'm trying to play the track in my mind backwards as I'm driving forwards, kind of guessing at the points. And this did take me like 3 or 4 attempts to get this one done. And sometimes it was just silly things, like I ended up off track too much because everything's just backwards. Now be careful, remember, you don't want to get tangled up with Ahmed here. You'll get a penalty for that. I could have got in this race line a little bit, but if he hits you, you fail. So you got to be careful. And everything's backwards, which is kind of funny. It's actually interesting though. I like being able to run tracks in reverse. It's just interesting. And yeah, we just have to do better than he does, obviously. So taking the S's backwards is interesting. Really threw me off here. I actually got a little bit lost. I couldn't quite remember how many more corners is there? How many more S's are there before I'm actually at corner 1? And I got a little bit confused. I thought this was going to be corner 1. That's what I was preparing for. So I kind of wrecked that, but I think we'll be okay. As soon as you cross the start-finish line, it doesn't matter what happens. And I wanted to try to set up an online crash. I think I needed to be more to the left to set that up, because he tries to turn this thing around. The AI does. It's actually close. Anyhow, kind of a fun little thing that they do once in a while. Stage 6. Okay, stage 6, race 1, autocross. Don't think this is difficult, but I don't necessarily remember. We'll just take it as it comes. So want to drive this, well, it's an autocross, so you really can't be taking it slow. We'll just see how much time I've got left. Ooh, boy. I almost think I went off track a little bit there. Was this a no off track event? Well, sometimes they say a second of off track. I like it that they were more specific in these old events. Nowadays, you're just not really sure, so you've got to experiment a little bit. Oh, yeah. Not a problem there. Well, that was tight. That was actually tight. And this one's interesting. No more than a second of skidding. Like, okay. What's funny is I forget about that sometimes, and I'm just kind of drifting because I'm having fun as I'm getting to the position that I chose. And then I go, oh, nuts, can't do that. But if you're skidding in a speed snap like this at a higher level, you're going to lose. So I chose to kind of lined up with the sand here on the left. See the sandy spot on the track? That's my starting point. You can really cut this corner, and you need to. So you can drive as straight as possible, and then go up the track and back down. 267 is my target. Definitely beat it. I think 269 is what I saw. Yep, almost 270. No worries. Yeah, this one seems a little bit interesting. It says skid 10 times and win without going off track for more than 3 seconds, but that's not what it means. They made a mistake. It's actually 10 seconds of skidding if I'm correct. Let's just see here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see if I can, whenever I'm going to throw some skids here. Not until later on, of course. I'm not going to throw skids until I'm comfortably in the lead. You got to be careful at Spa. These guys have a tendency of really wrecking at Eau Rouge, which can be hilarious. Look at that. I got tangled up a little bit in that. Probably cracked my windshield. Oh well. I think these guys are slower at this point. Hopefully. Because I am a ways back. And my first goal is just I'll get in the lead first. Then I'll worry about doing those skids once I'm in the lead. Oh yeah, not much of a problem. Sorry, Mr. Sesto Elemento. Well, if my windshield wasn't cracked before, it certainly is now. And this guy's going to be easy to get around. He's bad on the corners. No trouble. I'm going to bump past him. Oh! It is 10 times, not 10 seconds. That's funny. It threw me off. Well, then you can just wag back and forth. Yeah, then you just wag back and forth. So it's counting both when I start a skid and when I finish a skid. Okay, well, there we go. Sometimes it's easier to see these things after the fact. Okay, having some fun here. Now, way more than I need to. Again, I'm just having some fun. Something funny happens, though, so I want you guys to see it. Well, it's good to be aware of, too. Kamikaze ghost bots don't just happen in endurance races. They happen in elimination races. So it's a problem with any ghosting bot, where if you're in the braking zone, they just don't brake. They just release the brakes and come at you full throttle. So, the third place bot is about to be eliminated. Okay, I'm letting second place catch up. I didn't even see third place in that quick little flash. Watch what happens. Watch this really close. Boom! Ghost absolutely hammered me. Like with his last seconds of being on planet Earth, he totally tried to destroy me. Okay, well that's fun. That threw me off track. Almost made me fail. Nasty little ghost bot. Okay, now as soon as you finish an elimination race, doesn't matter. I like to block these guys, like to be silly. So that was kind of funny. Thought I'd show you guys that one. Boy, look at my R balance. I'm really going to have to do some grinding. I don't have a lot of, I think I've got one fully upgraded car in this account, so that could be a problem. I'm not used to having to grind. In my main account, I've got over 1.2 million R dollars because I've been playing since 2015. This is my earnings account, but I bet I'm definitely going to have to build up at least a few million. Oh boy, to do some racing in that account. Okay, hang back a bit because there's going to be a horrible crash at Eau Rouge, just like that, and then you just zoom by everybody. So sometimes it helps to hang back a bit. All right, even zooming by the Ford who was giving me trouble before, Victoria. Victoria's not all that difficult now. Now remember, there's a speed target, but we are going to be dealing with a speed target on the back half of the lap. So from the first corner to Lacombe corner at the top of the hill there, that's 25% of a lap. Quite a big deal at Eau Rouge. And then from the last, no, I forgot the name of the corner. Trying to remember the name of a corner coming up here. I mean, not this one. This is Guan. We all know that one. Nuts. I forget the name of the corner. Oh, well, someone can tell me. The corner that we exit this section onto the next speed run. 22% of a lap happens between that corner and the last chicane. Ugh. It bothers me that I can't remember the name of this corner. And I'm not going to look it up. Someone will know. You can tell me. Okay, so we need to set that up. You want to keep it full throttle through here. You really got to watch your race line here. Take the wide way. So I'm going to stick it. I'm going to stay low here until I clear this corner. Then I'm going to go up high, take the high line here, and get ready for this corner. You've got to take this full throttle. And a little bit after this, you can get on the brakes. And then I hit speed. And then you just do that again. So we're not going to finish this race. You're not going to see the rest of this race. I'm going to skip a lap coming up here. Because you just have to do that twice. There's no one in your way. It's really, really easy. So there we go. We've skipped that lap. And no trouble there. And I'll let Victoria catch up, obviously. Okay, so I skipped a little bit. Stage 7, race 2. Getting into things a little bit here. This one, some people might have trouble with this one. You notice I'm pausing. Sometimes I'm really fast through the loading screens. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. I think this is complicated. I better pay attention. So Magnus has a pretty huge lead. But we know that Magnus is horrible. He's a horrible driver. I got to rip him when I can. He does not corner well at all. So I'm going to catch up Magnus quite a lot. Look at this. I'm drifting. I'm not doing very good at all. But I'm still going to catch Magnus because he is worse than that. Oh, so disrespectful, hey? Average speed, really not much of a concern unless you're going to be really all over the place. But look, I've already hit it with multiple mistakes. So we know this is just going to get easier. Oh, boy. Already I'm catching that Magnus. Not all that difficult to catch you slowpoke. Now I'm going to be careful I kind of wanted to give him the pit maneuver, but if you overtake him and then let him overtake you again, you fail. So I thought I better just hang out, be a little bit careful here, and just set up an overtake. So we're heading into the second last corner. It's a very good place to overtake the bots. They do not take this well. And this corner they're not bad at, but they're not great at the last corner either. And then we're just going to skip the rest of this lap because obviously I'm in the lead and he's so slow. I have to let him catch up because he's so slow. Poor Magnus. Losing all the time. Okay, race 3 of stage 7. Hunter event. I love this. Run Ahmed off the road. Okay. Gotta love it when we have something interesting like that where you're actually encouraged to wreck someone and really do some... get them off the road at least. You could get them off the road maybe without damaging them, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. But if you don't know about getting people off the road, basically I will show you that. Kind of helps to start a pit maneuver and push them. You could also hit him really hard. The danger in hitting him really hard, especially when you're in a bit of a loose car, is sometimes you will end up also becoming a victim. So you want to be careful with that. Plowing into people really difficult. Braking zone coming up here is one of the more difficult ones at Red Bull Ring because it's going downhill. It's hard to gauge it, so it always feels like, oh, I'm on the brakes early enough, but it's not working. Well, that's because it's a downhill braking zone, so it's difficult. Takes a while to master that corner. Double checking the requirement. I do have to win, so we'll just pay careful attention to that. I should be catching, well, gosh, where is he? There he is. Gosh, really felt daunting for a minute there. Okay, so he's very slow. Boom, not enough. Okay, so pit maneuver and then shove. Bye-bye. It's way off track. Now I'm going to get in the lead. Once I get in the lead, I will see if I have to keep it. Okay, so I'm slowing down here. Oh, he's already getting back on track. So better be careful here. I don't want to do this twice. Okay. So there he is, and then, oh, he's really hitting the brakes, I guess. So I'm going to slow down a little bit. There we go. Anyway, obviously not all that difficult. Okay, so still in stage 7, race 4. This is not the same as the original event. That race was a lot harder, so I'm very surprised. And they gave us very difficult bots. If Dr. Periwinkle is second, then first place is even harder. So drive it in a little bit deep there, formation driving, throw it sideways, give him a little check. So that Gabby is actually now the hardest bot. Harder than Dr. Periwinkle. Yes, I know Gabby's usually the easiest, but not if he's up in front. So the way the game is designed in the old days, and it happens a little bit now, Dr. Periwinkle's the hardest bot, but if you keep running faster and faster, they pull from the bottom of the list and make that the new hardest. And you run faster, they pull from the second last, third last, etc., etc. And so very few series in the game actually do that, where they can get like progressively more difficult. And I kind of wish they did it more, but oh well. So this is funny. I don't know when they changed this. Maybe it was when they had the archives. I guess people complained about the race. I don't know. It wasn't that bad, but I don't know. Maybe people complained about it. I don't know why they changed it. So there we go. This is very different, and it's still not easy. Like, I'm really running low on time. Oop, squirrely, squirrely, squirrely. 5, 4, 3, 2. Maybe you could get the lead, honestly. I wasn't up for it. I took it that way. Okay, so here we are in stage 8. Race number 1. We're going to go through most of this. So again, 13 upgrades. Pretty well everything gets challenging at this point. Like, everything's a little bit tricky. Everything's difficult. And could you have skipped? I would say no. There's just too many difficult races to make skipping worth your while, I would say. Also because the skips get progressively more expensive. So the problem with skipping is you often end up skipping more than one race if you skip one race. Now if the last race required like, I don't know, 200 golds of upgrades and it's 100 gold to skip it, then fine. I hate that though. I always want to get something for my currency, but I get it. Some people are saying, well, I'll buy the skips, get the car cheaper, and wait for a sale. Okay, I get it, but I don't know how much further you're ahead. You need a pretty big sale to make it worth your while. Oh well, I mean, I'll leave that alone. So I don't think I beat him by very much. But it's enough. Magnus can whine and complain about losing. This is actually interesting. Not necessarily all that difficult, but you do have to be careful. So I'm just winding back and forth here to build up a little more average speed. You want to get on the brakes a little bit early so you can get around Magnus on corner 1. So you want to take it really wide. That's not off track, guys, not in this game. And then Magnus will give you the line, which is nice. He does race nicely. Now remember, don't skid. If you skid, that's it. It's over. So you got to watch your race line. You can take that coming out of that full throttle. Sorry, I almost went off track there. And then you just got to drive this nice and aggressive, but nice and clean. Keep it clean. And you should be okay. You'll slowly build that average speed. We've got another slow speed corner here. Low speed, slow speed. But then we start to get to the faster part of Nürburgring Grand Prix. And here's where we start to build some speed up nicely. And when you realize you don't really have much to worry about. So first things first, just focus on hitting your average speed. If you've got a bunch of average speed, you can always give some back, but you want to make sure you've got extra. I took that a little bit more careful than I needed to. I didn't have that. No, that's pretty good. Okay, there we go. Finally hitting average speed, and at a nice speed run section too. So I might give some back at the back end of this race. I don't want Magnus to cry too much, so I might just let him catch up. No, this is part of bot management. Got to keep those targets tight. So there's me just double checking what's my average speed requirement, and then I'm looking to see how much I can give back. Letting little whiny puss there catch up a little bit. There you go. Okay, so there we are. We're still in stage 8, of course, and we're in race number 3. So this one, you just pick one of them. I picked one that I just thought was going to be short. Also, it's one where bots are really not very good. There's quite a lot of the dynamic circuit that they are not good at. And if it's Magnus driving, it's going to be even easier because he's so horrible. So I decided to drive it in deep, get around him nice and clean here, and then I can just maintain. I was going to mess around with him a little bit, total him off, but you got to be careful. If you get damaged, you fail. So maybe don't horse around too much. But also don't let him smash you like he'll like to do. He likes to smash you if he can. So be careful, don't let him gain on you. The lovely thing about this track is because it's so narrow, bots will just wait behind you. It's not too often they won't get too rammy, they'll wait behind you. I was going to try to set up a pit maneuver, but I thought, maybe I'll just leave it alone. Keep Mr. Whiny Puss close to me here. There, he's getting beside me a little bit. Little tag. Oh, you sore sport. Make you see my bumper. Eat my bumper, Magnus. Okay, and here we are getting to what is the race that I needed one more upgrade for. So this is my best attempt at 13 upgrades and still quite a bit shy. In fact, I actually did. So here I buy tires and wheels because it's cheap. I did try this with just 14 upgrades, and I couldn't do it. Maybe you could if you tried long enough, but I thought, who cares? So this is my first time trying it with 15 upgrades. You can tell by how that loads. It starts with the camera low and to the left and then goes above the car. When it's multiple attempts, the screen just loads like above my car. So that's one way you can tell. Now at this point, I've picked a spot on the track here. I literally count the amount of red squares, and so I know that that's where I want to be starting. And then I switch to the view, get myself ready to go, and watch my race line, and go really far over. Now go far over to the right and back down to the left. There we go. Not worried about overshooting the target, although I did not overshoot it by very much at all. 1/4 kilometer an hour. Wow. And then, as is often the case, the last race is quite anticlimactic. We will not do the whole race, but I will show you, give you a better view of my final upgrades after this is over. We'll do one lap. So I'll get almost through an entire lap and then warp ahead. Ahmed looks like he's really fast, but that car, well, at least when he's driving it, doesn't corner very well. So it's really not hard to get around him, especially if you know how to take advantage of bots. I put the squeeze on him and he hit the brakes. But he really does not regain. You'll see I am not going to let him catch up. So I will drive this aggressive, no cutting. That is allowed. What I just did is allowed in this game. So know the rules of the game and push those boundaries as far as you can push them. So yeah, really not difficult here. Oh boy. Although I felt that was a little bit squirrely. And through the hairpin, you can see I'm gapping Ahmed already. Getting my lead up into the little squirrely there. I should have a nice 200 plus meter lead pretty soon. Take this full throttle. I don't think he will. And there's getting into the 200s already. Oh yeah, he was braking for that section. Completely unnecessary, Ahmed. Come on, man, what's with you? Here, I didn't want to push it too much. Oh! Well, or did I? We'll be hitting 300 and even 400 very soon. 300s, braking where that road intersects. Probably 400 coming up here, but just after the last corner, I will warp ahead. So he's going to gain a lot, but then, of course, he's going to heavily brake for the chicane. And I end up having, oh, there you go, 600, oh, well, would have been more than that. And we'll take a look at those final upgrades here. There you go. Like I said, so that is the cheapest I've seen so far. Someone might do it cheaper. I'd love to see that. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today. Best of luck earning your Porsche 911 GT1-98.